Emma, that would be D-Day.
This is the reason why anti-feminism has been one of the largest rhetorical forces in this election. Why so many fascist arguments hinge on the idea that women are property of men, or at the very least that men are entitled to women, and feminism is ruining people's minds by making women think that they want anything other than to be a submissive, pregnant, barefoot housewife, right? Because the like fantasy that they're pushing for, the ideal home life that they're trying to build, is one where women are like effectively without political agency. All of their other beliefs about women stem from this. All of them. The idea that women should stay in the home while men work, that's so women have no financial independence. If women are bound to the children and have no income of their own, they can't leave. They have no way of leaving. They can't afford to leave. If women can get an abortion, they have the ability to engage freely in premarital sex without getting tied down. Having a child is extremely expensive. It's pretty difficult to be a single mother. Republicans hate single mothers because they're acting in what they consider to be a defiance of their natural position in the world. A single mother, a mother, is supposed to be with a man. That is what she's supposed to be. If she's on her own, it must be because she hates men so much that she is obstinately refraining from their presence, even though the natural order compels her to raise her child under the, care of a man. All of their rhetoric on women stems like from this. This is what it all goes back to. It's all man v bear stuff. So one of the reasons I like this ad is because it's led to a bunch of meltdown coat posting from Republicans who are revealing the fact that they're actually unironically really upset by the idea of their wife voting against their interest. It's like anathema to their whole ideology, the idea of a woman having the autonomy. Now, it should be noted, by the way, that if for some reason you're a lady and you have a conservative husband and you're here, keep in mind your vote's not public. It can never be public. You can go in the booth and vote for whoever you want, and no one will find out. You can say whatever you want. The only reason, by the way, that you would be in a relationship with someone who votes for Trump and you vote for Kamala Harris and then lie and say you voted for Trump is if you're in an abusive relationship. Like, to be clear, I'm not trying to like sanitize that dynamic. If that's a thing that's going on, you should leave if it's possible to. Like, I think that being in a relationship with somebody who votes for Trump is itself enough of a reason to leave, even if their behavior is perfectly fine in every other respect. But I know the heart wants what the heart wants and people are complicated. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Republicans are terrified of the female vote. Women are early voting in droves. Their numbers are up. They're up through the roof. Higher than people expected even, and people expected them to be pretty high. It looks like the revocation of Roe v. Wade really is going to be the deciding issue this election. I saw a tweet with 5,000 likes where a guy says he filled out his wife's mail-in ballot for her so she can't do something like this, literally admitting to voter fraud. Yeah. I've seen a lot of posts to that effect. Yeah. I've seen a lot of posts from Republicans that have been... I think Charlie Kirk's been posting about this a lot too, where he's been saying stuff to the effect of like, actually, voting for Kamala Harris and not telling your husband is like raping your husband. I don't know if he actually said that. It just sounds like something he would say. It sounds in character. It's spiritually true. Anyway, so Jesse Waters cheated on his first wife. Here's Newt Gingrich, who cheated on two of his first wives, his first and second.
Have Hollywood elitist jackass, really? I'm gonna look for what manliness looks like to George Clooney, the Hollywood jackass, spoiled elitist. No, thank you. He's no John Wayne.
Are you signs you're living in a delusional fantasy world, completely detached from everyone?
Clooney, I'm gonna look for what manliness looks like to George Clooney.
I mean, like, a lot of people do, yeah.
The Hollywood jackass, spoiled elitist? No, thank you. He's no John Wayne.
Yeah, I would prefer to go with someone not associated with Hollywood and not a spoiled jackass, John Wayne.
Look, let me go out on a limb for a second as a historian. These people are dishonest. They're relentlessly, routinely dishonest at every level. And so for them to tell people to lie is just one further example of the depth of their corruption. I mean, how do you run a country where you're walking around saying wives should lie to their husbands, husbands should lie to their wives? I mean, what kind of a totally amoral, corrupt, sick system have the Democrats developed? If you think about it at that level, it is astonishing the decay. And this is what, frankly, why Robert F. Kennedy Jr. switched parties, but didn't switch parties, but was campaigning Sunday with Donald Trump, because the party of John F. Kennedy, the party of Robert Kennedy, it's gone.
Apart from the incoherence, the main pointer here being, I guess, that I think he served his divorce papers to his first wife while she was dealing with cancer. Like, a lot of these people genuinely just hate life and you know? There's really no, I know, wow, thank you, Vosh, for the groundbreaking analysis. The Republicans are evil? Yes. Yeah, I know. It's like genuinely, like basically every one of their pundits and every one of their politicians isn't just politically evil, but interpersonally evil. There is an overlap between those things. They're not just, it's not just like they're normal people and then they step up, you know, behind the you know, the podium or whatever, the lectern, and they start spitting hatred or whatever. They're interpersonally evil as well. Like, it kind of seeps into their day to day. I have to say, I do like the ad in large part because it's prompted so much hysteria from the right wing. I do like that. I need, because there are a lot of, and you know, listen, okay, I'm based. I hate women, right? You're not going to like take that from me. All right. I do think there are a lot of dumbass chicks out there who are like, oh, my husband's great, even though he's emotionally distant, occasionally abusive, and votes for Trump. Like, let's not pretend that this is all taking place in a vacuum. Okay. There's a lot of tolerance out there that's, in my opinion, very misplaced. I'm a very intolerant person, actually. Yeah, I don't believe in that crap, okay? That tolerance crap. If you're a woman, like, there has to be a limit to what you're willing to put up with, you know? And I like stuff like this because it's a reminder, I hope, to at least some of those women that the ideology that you are at least being passively tolerant of, if you've got a Trump supporting husband or whatever, I mean, they will ruin your life. You know, it's like, it's not just, oh, my husband's a little traditional, or, oh, my husband's a little bit like old fashioned on such and such. Like, their ideology is built on entitlement. Yeah, you got to run while you still can. And if this is like a big national divorce thing, then sure, let progressives, you know, get like pussy in the divorce. Fine. I'm okay with that. That's a burden I'm willing to bear. It'll be a lot of work, but, you know, I think it's a political project worth embracing. I think we should leave Republicans alone, TBH, and just stop dating them systematically. I mean, for younger people who are like 18 to 30 or whatever, women literally do say, in large numbers, the women say that if the guy they wanted to date was a Trump supporter, that would be a deal breaker. Now, people say stuff like that in polls. It doesn't necessarily mean they act on that in real life. You know, your feelings are difficult to predict, tempestuous force on one's mind, so on. But what else are you going to do? We're running down the, like, South Korea path, where men's hatred of women is becoming such a, like, dominant issue politically. But look at this, man. Look at the early voting numbers. An easy winning formula for Harris is to simply get more women than men to vote. Look at the early voting in swing states. Now, this doesn't necessarily translate to how the election's going to go, you know, blah-de-blah. It's still indicative, though. Ready for black women in Atlanta to save American democracy yet again. Oh, speaking of cornball, suffragette, like, feminist stuff, look at this. People apparently covered Susan B. Anthony's grave with a bunch of I voted stickers. I don't know if this is from this election cycle or from the previous one, or a previous one. You know, people can repost images. It's still, I don't know, it's kind of cute. Again, it might be an older photo. Looks kind of grainy. It's cute. You know, we can have a little charm. We can have a little schmaltz if we want. It's not illegal yet. Women, as usual, have to save the world. Let's not get too soy here. They're still annoying and shrill. I think, like, moving forward from this, though, I really do think that we need to... I mean, it's like the personal is the political, right? I think that liberals have come a long way on this, where back in 2016, there was a fairly bipartisan sentiment of, like, don't let the political get in the way of the personal. You know, certainly up until 2016, but even with the MAGA movement, there were a lot of people who still had that attitude. And over time since 2016, it has faded away. And people are much more likely to not keep in contact with MAGA relatives or keep MAGA friends or whatever. And that's good, because you shouldn't, like, be with bad people. You know, you shouldn't, like, I'm not saying you should be, like, treat them like shit or whatever. I'm just saying you can flatly say, like, I think you support fascism and your ideas are repugnant and I don't want to be around you. Like, that's pretty straightforward. Don't waste your time on bad people, you know? And moving forward, like, that's pretty much all we're going to be able to do, because people will